and episode of the Strength Hammer podcast 105. You know, one day I'm going to look up and Alex's muscles are going to be so large that he's going to do like the SpongeBob thing where he can actually just spell out Strength Hammer on his arms just through his muscles popping.
Oh, that would be amazing. One day to show up as a strength hammer.
I really don't think you should do that. I think you should
Not
do
not
Fit Hammer. You should
Oh,
don't
that's
don't
funny. Yeah,
don't
yeah,
don't
yeah.
put someone else like Strength Hammer is more my brand, but don't put my small brand below your big
World's
brand.
strongest warhammerer.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
Kevin's great. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
Kevin's
cool.
great. We should all get that on our chest, or no, on our
Yes,
butts.
yes. Great guy. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, tramp stamp.
Tramp stamp.
There we go.
Alex, I see you're at a nice coffee shop. I'm having some home
Yes.
coffee.
It's a beautiful day.
It is. It is. It's been nice, cooler weather here as we're getting towards the end of summer. So
I've been very much enjoying it. It's been beautiful.
I have been too. I'm wearing hoodies again, just for the nights. It's so nice, so nice. I love it.
Just so cozy. Just so cozy.
I may have already had some pumpkin beer. It's out.
Of course you did.
Yep.
Of course you did.
I was literally there the day they put it out without realizing it. I'm like, I guess I'll take one of these.
Are they doing pumpkin spice yet? I haven't seen it yet.
Starbucks pumpkin spice is in like a week or two. I think my friend texted me.
Mm,
But to be fair, I don't do the Starbucks pumpkin spice latte. I might do one a
okay.
year just because they're so calorie rich.
Oh yeah,
It's
it's a milkshake.
it is. It's a milkshake, but I do buy pumpkin spice regular coffee, and I got a bag of that upstairs. So it's not what's in here, but that's coming soon.
It's not quite yet. You have to wait at least till September, I feel like.
Yeah, it's very annoying because, like I said, I do enjoy the pumpkin flavor, so pumpkin beer, pumpkin coffee.
Hmm.
The coffee's easy because I can buy it and just forget about it until it's actually
Right.
fall. The beer, I can't let it. If I let it sit for as long as it would take for me to actually want the pumpkin beer for autumn, it would probably not be good anymore. But it's fine.
That's fair.
I have
That's a good point.
I'll have some throughout the season, and I'll be happy, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I have to confess, I do not like anything pumpkin.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah. Wow,
What's
that's very,
what?
very gentle response. I feel like people are like, oh, you are not a real white person if you don't like pumpkin spice.
No, it's whatever. You like what you like. What's your favorite flavor? Curious.
Of coffee?
Uh, I guess because like pumpkin's weird because like I said, it's in beer. It's in so many
They put
different
pumpkin in
scents.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
What's your favorite flavor that is more expanded? I guess across and more generally accepted. Right?
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know if there's.
Like, is it sweet? Is it savory?
I think it's sweet.
Okay.
The pumpkin is interesting one because it does expand into sweet and savory
Yeah.
things, right?
Depends
And
how like
yeah,
you go
I
for
don't think I
spices.
have that because like savory salt and vinegar is like my favorite flavor.
Oh, okay.
But as far as sweet, it's probably just simple chocolate.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's not very fancy.
I mean, you could have said vanilla and gone
That'd
true
be
vanilla.
very funny. That'd be very, very
I
funny.
like vanilla ice cream with no sprinkles and no
Yeah.
syrup. Or like, okay.
Yeah, I like vanilla milkshakes. A what? Vanilla milkshake.
Yes, and my
So
cone,
just ice cream.
and then I eat the cup afterwards.
Not quite that bad.
Oh no, it's fine. Well, hey, with this nice weather we've been having, how's your lawn?
The lawn is cut. The lawn is cut. The lawn is beautiful and luscious. I've been liking that all the yellow patches after the dry season have filled in. It looks nice and green now, and
Nice.
it's a good time. It's a good time.
That's
How
awesome.
about you? How's your lawn?
Good. It's also it's still cut, still looking good from the last cut. I gotta do some garden work here in the next day or so. Garden's not doing the best this year, but I think I got it in late. Um, it is what it is. I got some shrubs to clean up, so I got some work to do, but it's not in the worst situation.
Yeah. Didn't you add something to your garden this year?
Oh, I did some hot peppers this year, like actual
That's
hot
right.
peppers, and I've been too afraid to try them. Had a few. Actually, there's probably one I need to go pick today, probably. But yeah,
Very nice.
I love hot stuff, but I'm also it's hot stuff is great until about right here in my body.
Ah,
Then
ah,
it
ah. The repercussions of your choices are heavy.
yes, yes. But hey, that is what it is. What with the nice weather and the lawns. Alex, you've been getting some new equipment. You also had gifted me for Christmas last year a nice piece of equipment. We have the hammer.
Ah,
The ma-
yes. Ah, yes. Yes. Like, what did I do?
yeah, actually, that's to be fair. That's probably gonna be today because I didn't get to the gym yesterday. My wife has
Mm,
been ill, so I've been kind of staying home.
ah,
I'm
fair enough.
fine, knocking on wood, but I don't want to be too far away from her. Someone playing music.
Yeah, it's like
I just start.
very, very loud. Oh, it's an older gentleman
Oh, it's his
with
phone. Okay.
his sounds like he has a speaker attached to his phone.
Oh, that's
I do
fine. That's
apologize.
that's no, it's fine. It's not that bothersome.
Okay, good.
But yeah. So with that, like I've missed out on some Warhammer. I'm probably gonna miss out on some Warhammer this Saturday too. I was supposed to run a club day, but if she's not well enough, I
Ah,
don't want to leave her. And also, like I said,
heartbreaking.
I'm fine, but I'm pretty sure whatever virus, which some sort of it's that flu it's going around, is probably somewhere on me, and I don't want to
Hmm.
interact with people and spread it.
Well, that's wise of you.
Yeah,
That's smart.
it's
Yeah.
smart. But yeah, so I might miss out on some more Warhammer, but I'm getting some hobby in. But that's getting ahead. I kind of lost the thread that I segued myself, and I just kept segueing to the end of the end of this content edge.
The train kept going. That's funny because
Yeah,
I know what you were doing, and then so many things happened where we just lost the track of thought
yeah.
entirely.
Just missed that train station.
Uh,
All right, we'll back it up.
let's back it up. Let's go back.
So today we're going to talk about home gyms
Home gyms, very good.
and our top three things to have in a home gym.
Yes.
I will put a precedence on this, Alex. I don't think we should limit ourselves to more than one budget-friendly item.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
like,
Okay,
like,
I'm gonna have one budget-friendly item,
yeah,
and also let's make a rule because there's so many things that if I name something that you're going to name, you should name something else.
that's fair.
Because I definitely have more than three things I would want in a home gym,
Yeah,
but I have the three first ones I would definitely
yeah.
recommend.
What do you absolutely, what should you must have in a home gym if you're, let's say, intermediate lifting and you're taking it seriously, that you do it, three
Yeah,
times a week.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And this doesn't mean you don't also have a gym, because we both have home gyms and we both also have you have two gym memberships, because
Yes.
you live a little bit away from me, so you actually have access to two very nice. Whereas I just have the one because I'm not driving outside my little town.
Yeah, I have two medium price gym memberships, which I would easily exchange for one nice, very nice quality gym membership. But there's unfortunately not any like very high quality, super nice gyms in our area.
Man, can you imagine if we had like the pros gym here?
I would easily pay like 150 a month.
Oh,
Like that would not be a problem.
that wouldn't. Yeah, that absolutely would not, because that too, like that's such a weird mix. It mixes bodybuilding style gym with a strongman style gym with a powerlifting style gym.
Yes.
It mixes it all
Yes.
so
Yeah.
incredibly
And the
well.
energy there is it's different. It just feels different.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good time.
But anyway, so should we start with the budget item first, or should we start with that at the end?
Yes. Let's do our budget item first. I think that's what people really want. People who are starting a home gym, they're not looking to spend $1,000 right away, right?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I
What would,
will.
what would your budget item be?
Okay. Well, if I'm going to start, then I would say the budget item would be kettlebell.
Oh, that's not the direction I thought you would go.
Yeah,
Okay, very good.
I would say maybe like a 35-pound kettlebell, something it might be a little bit more than you need, but you can get a lot of good work in with just a kettlebell alone. So
Hmm.
if you're just trying to, like, I need to move for an hour, you'll be surprised how much a kettlebell can kick your butt if you're doing the movements properly. Whether you're doing Turkish
Absolutely.
get ups, whether you're doing swings, whether you're doing side bends, or just even strict press. But I'd say you could get away with one, maybe you get two, but that would be my budget friendly item to start with.
That's good. I didn't even think about that. Wasn't even on my top three. So that is very good.
And to be fair, you can actually make one out of hardware, which I have. Which I have an extra
Yes.
35-pound plate, which you have a little bit wider stance on the swings, but then just some uh, metal piping fitted together and cemented, and boom, you have a makeshift kettlebell pretty easily with extra circle weights if you have them.
That's very good and doesn't take much space. I mean, honestly, I would say, yeah, two, if you can, two
Yeah.
kettlebells will even increase your arsenal of workouts you could do even more. That's a very good idea. I didn't even think about it. That's very good.
What's your budget item then to start with?
I think you will know. I think you have an idea what it is. It is
Okay.
resistance bands.
Oh, okay. Actually, no. I always thought you were going to say, kind of like in the same vein of what I did, like a pair of nice size dumbbells.
Yes,
But
yes, but
that's probably more my CrossFit brain. Whereas you're
sure.
definitely, I see where you're going, and like, yeah, resistant.
Bodybuilding style, yeah. If you for about $60, $60 to $80, you can get light, medium, and heavy resistance bands, which is all you will need for a very long time. A handles if you need them, they're like $10, and then an anchor of some kind to attach to a door. It doesn't take much space, and you could literally do whatever. Like, let's say I have a 3-day full body program, you could do 90% of the movements, just have to modify them with resistance bands, right? You could do resistance bands deadlifts, resistance band rows, chest press, chest flies, bicep curl, tricep pull downs, you know,
Yeah.
wood chops. There's so many things you could do. Now the stimulus is different, but it is still a stimulus, right? It's still a
Yeah.
stimulus to break down your muscle. You still can train close to failure, and for $80, you could have a whole program you could do. So if there's a limited budget for a full body workout that's effective, especially for bodybuilding, bands are your best friend.
Yeah, and I'll agree to that too. Even in my little home gym, because you gifted me some bands early. I think probably like a, I don't know, a green one and a purple one.
Hmm.
But I have the heaviest one. It's wrapped around the support post in my basement. And actually, I found, those like little old toy bats you got like at ball games, those little wooden ones.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
have
Oh,
one.
you're
I have one
using
of those
that.
next to it, and I'll just do tricep
That's
push
awesome.
downs because
Yeah.
really it's just like, oh, this feels light. Let me just back up and then increase the tension. Um,
Yes, yes, that's the beauty of them is you can increase the tension. Even if you only have one band, you can increase the tension a lot. Now, I noticed that like if you have a light band you use for curls, it's going to be too light to use for bands or for deadlifts.
mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
there's a lot you could do for very cheap with bands.
yep. And also, hey, if you travel a lot for your job, that's a home gym that goes with you,
Absolutely, absolutely.
and they go through airport security quite easily. I can attest to that. So
Yes, yes. The other thing with bands is they feel less sexy, right? It does not feel like you are curling 35s and you're using cables for flies. It feels a little bit different.
right, that's fair.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well,
All right, number two.
number two, for me, and this is gonna be like the biggest priority. So like whenever you're ready to throw money into it, and it's not gonna be as fully expensive from the start, but you would grow off this piece, and it's. I apologize if this is cheating in twofold. A barbell and as much weight as you can deadlift.
Ooh, okay, that's fair.
You don't
That's
need
fair.
more weight than you can deadlift. It's
Absolutely.
to be honest, like if
Absolutely.
you're just trying to get some work done.
That's a good metric. I like it. I like that you said as much weight as you can deadlift.
Yeah, I mean, I forget where I heard that long ago, but that was from somebody else. I'm stealing that from them, so I can't say I'm smart. But um, yeah, because with just a barbell, you can do deadlifts, you can do floor presses, you can do landmines. Heck, I mean, you can learn to clean and jerk, and if you can clean and jerk, then you can also get it up and overhead to do some squats with that too. So
Hmm.
you can be very versatile with just the barbell and weight.
Yes.
Yeah, like, and
Yes.
it's, don't be afraid, like, buy a decent one, because like my barbell, I take it outside sometimes because I don't have room in my basement because it's a smaller base, it's a shorter
Hmm.
basement to do overhead pressing. So I'll take it outside sometimes to do overhead pressing, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And if your neighbor's looking at you funny, well, guess what? They're not overhead pressing in their backyard. You're showing dominance.
That's right. And it just feels good, and it's functional, and there's so many things you could do with it. Now, I'm sure we're going to talk a couple more things that allow you to do even more things
Mm-hmm.
with your barbell. But yeah, that would be my top three. That probably would be my number three actually,
Yeah.
if you did not name it.
Gotcha.
It's a very
Gotcha.
good option.
Well,
Yes.
what would your
My
next
next
option?
one would be adjustable dumbbells.
Oh yeah.
However you need to get them, it just gives you so much versatility. If you get the cheap option where you have to screw them on, right? You can take little plates and screw them on, which ideally those plates you could use for your barbell as well.
Mm-hmm.
They are a bit more awkward that way, or you can get something like Nobel or there's other brands you could use for adjustable dumbbells that usually go up to about 50-ish pounds, and there's some of them that go up to 80 pounds. Now, this is going to be an expensive investment right away, especially if you get good quality adjustable dumbbells.
Mm-hmm.
They tend to be between 400 to even $700. So it's a pretty big investment. But I tell you what, it is significantly cheaper than getting each individual dumbbell pair.
Well, and then just the space alone,
Yes.
because like I know you have that, and then you have some very heavy ones, which makes sense, on the side. But yeah, just I have three sets of dumbbells that were. It's my grandfather likes to scrap metal, so people just bring him metal, and he messaged me one day, and it's like these old, was it? It's 30, 35 $45, like, and it was just these dumbbells, like homemade dumbbells. Like, they used
Yeah,
actual weights, but someone just made it and welded it together. And
that's
he's like, "Do
awesome.
you want these?" I'm like, "Yes."
Of
But
course I do.
that's only 3 dumbbells, and it takes up a lot of space.
Right.
So I think you're absolutely right. Like, buy like if you don't have any pony up to get the adjustable ones, and I would put the money into it. Like, the ones you have are pretty nice. So
Yep. Yep. And they're not even the nicest ones. I can't remember for the life of me. Bowflex. Bowflex is the brand that I
gotcha,
have. And that's a good brand, but I would actually recommend Nuobel if you have the money. I think it's Nuo Bell, like a barbell. They seem to be the best quality, and they can go pretty heavy. Those are the ones that can go up to 80 pounds, and they don't take up that much space. So that's if I had to start over, that's the option I would get.
gotcha, perfect.
All right, last one. What is it?
Last one, and actually it's funny because I've been thinking about it while you've been talking too. I'm just like, which way do I go? And to be perfectly fair, it's I'm gonna go with probably what is more my style. People have watched us enough that know that we have different styles and views and stuff. And to me, it would be some sort of rack to allow you to squat and bench properly. Now, the barbell
Yeah.
can get you a lot just from the barbell itself, but there's going to be a point where you need some rack to be able to actually grow your legs because you can't overhead press or clean and jerk enough weight to and safely put it on your back. And benching too, like if you want the full range of motion, you need a bench. You can't just do it from a floor press. So it doesn't have to be a full. Like, you can get like a rogue rack if you really have the space for it and like a bench
Hmm.
for it. My thing, I forget what it is. It looks like one of those like after like cheaper things, but it's actually really robust. And it's adjustable, but it lets me do bench press, and I can set it up to squat if I need to, or
Oh
you
yeah,
can,
yeah.
or
Yes.
or like what you have. You have like a yoke half
I
rack,
like a half rack.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is perfectly fine. But
And those are cheap too. They're not very expensive.
yeah, they're not, and then unless you're squatting like in the 400s, you're fine. Like, I'd be
Sure.
weary about like half.
Sure.
Well, yours actually feels really nice, but I'd be worried about um, using the cheap ones um, uh, for really heavy weights. But
Yeah, if you're a big guy, right, and you're lifting some really heavy weight, yeah, you want to get like a Rogue or something
yeah,
heavy duty. But if you're a regular person, like most of us, yeah, get a cheap one that's gonna cost you $200 off Amazon.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember even seeing it was during like all the lockdown stuff. People were taking buckets with cement and 2x4s and bolting them together and making like their own makeshift half racks because they were just
Yeah.
hard to get. I mean, hey, that works
Mhm.
too. So like you can do that cheap. Oddly enough, I wouldn't recommend it, but you do what you gotta do.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, building your own racks is, if you know what you're doing, maybe. But man, I feel uh, sometimes after I finish squats, that rack is saving my life. Right?
Yeah,
If I didn't have that rack, I would have to drop the weight, crack the cement. It would not be good.
yeah, that's the thing. You don't want to ruin the cement in your own home.
Right. So you're saying a rack and a bench, right?
Yeah, I would say a combo. Yeah,
Right. Right. Which, if you buy a rack, you need to buy a bench. What are you doing?
yeah, exactly.
Yep. Yep. The beautiful thing about most racks is usually you have a space for pull-ups as well.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, unless you're doing the half rack. Well, no, even yours has
No,
it.
no, no. I have a
Yeah,
pull-up.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, you're fine. You're good. Good call. Good call.
Yep. 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 Yep.
All right, what's your
There's some
final item?
options there. Well, I was gonna say a bench because you didn't say it initially, and I was like, oh, well, that's
Yeah,
obvious.
I kind of took it. You could do the bench. You could do the
No,
bench.
no, no, no. It makes sense. I would say, but we're saying adjustable bench, right? So you wouldn't just get a regular. You get adjustable bench that can go up or down.
Actually, I didn't think about that. I was just gonna do just a regular bench. So if you want to talk about an adjustable
Ah,
bench as an upgrade,
I would love to
there
talk
you
about
go.
adjustable bench. Perfect. That would be my next one. If you already have the rack, I would actually get an adjustable bench before you get the rack, given my
Ooh,
options,
okay.
right? So bands, dumbbells, and adjustable bench. Because with dumbbells, you could have done some things, but now you could do full range of motion chest press, bench press, right? Now you could do incline bench rows. You could do regular rows. You have something to stand against, right? There's a lot of things you could do with the bench. There's some core movements you can do. There is pullovers, dumbbell pullovers, right? There's a lot of
Yeah.
things you can do now that you have an adjustable bench. If it was me, I would get it before I would get a rack. But obviously, our choices represent our differences, right? You would get barbell plates in a rack before you would get dumbbells and adjustable bench,
Right. Right. But that's
which is
yeah. I didn't even think about the adjustable portion, and technically my little setup has the adjustable bench too, and I use it regularly. So
Hmm.
but I didn't even think about it because like yeah, you want to hit the upper, mid, and lower.
Yes,
That's
yes.
perfect.
Yeah, adjustable bench gives you a lot of versatility and allows for uh, deeper range of motion on a lot of movements as well, especially chest movements.
Yes, yes. Yeah, well there you go. There's our top 3 home gym items. Tell you what, let's just throw out one wild item that we both have in our
Like
home.
completely unnecessary,
You
but
don't
it's
need
fun.
it, but it's in our home gym. I'll let you go
Sure.
first on this one.
All right, sure. Well, I think we're probably going to have both of the ones we're going to name.
Yeah.
Uh, and I'm going to name this one because it's kind of the one that I do utilize pretty often is a mace.
Mm-hmm.
I do like a mace primarily for two things. One is functional shoulder mobility.
Yep.
My shoulders have been the healthiest they've been for a long time since I purchased a mace, primarily with 360s, but there's other movements you could do. And also, it's fun to slam on the floor,
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
Obviously, you need some kind of mats, but it's just a fun cardio workout where you slam it on the floor. And now that I got a tire, I can slam it into the tire.
See that you do it and bounce
It,
that.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
fun.
it's kind
It's
of kick
fun. It
back. Yeah.
bounces right back. Yeah, yeah. You don't have to bring it back up. You just slam it, comes right back. Slam it again. It's just a fun time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. But yeah, and then mine is going to be Atlas stones or just a heavy stone. Like if you want like
Yes.
a odd stone, just because nothing feels more godly strong than picking up a heavy rock, and I don't know why.
Absolutely.
Like
Yes.
especially too. Like I'm on the hunt to find some like heavy. Just I mean we live in the Appalachian Mountains. We're Appalachia. Just finding some heavy rocks to put in my yard because they look like decoration until I'm out there just picking them up for fun. Um,
Yeah.
but it's fun. I mean, you've done it too. Like you know, you're ever out and about. Like I forget what I was in Utah, and like there was just a big heavy rock, and I was like, hey, would you mind filming me as I pick up this rock and put it overhead? I know you've done it too, because it's just like
Oh, big time. I feel like it's such a test of masculinity. Is like
it
men see
is.
heavy rock,
There's stones
men
of
pick up rock.
yeah, stones of strength. There's a
Yeah.
great mini documentary on Rogue's YouTube. I think it's called Stonelandia or something, but like Stones of Strength, it's great.
Yeah, it's a fun time. And the cool thing about Atlas stones is I've purchased some for
Yeah,
myself recently because I saw the ones at your house. I'm like, that looks really fun. I would love to lift it. And the one thing I've not realized, I always thought it's going to be a lot of arms, a lot of back, right? Which makes sense, getting your stone from floor to shoulder. But it's a lot of core. It's a
yeah.
lot of core. Like keeping your core tight and then having to unroll it. It's surprising amount of it.
Well,
So it's a
it's well, I would say you need to get more hip action in because I feel it in the glutes and biceps more than on myself. Like obviously the upper back, but I guess it depends like how you're treating it. Like if you're going more slow to get it up, my goal is to pop it up and get it, and like that's the rep to get it up onto
yeah,
the shoulder. Whereas I know you get up and then you walk with yours too, so that's core. That's a lot of
right,
fucking core,
right.
um,
Yeah,
but yeah, you
yeah.
could
Because
do it. Yeah,
after doing a full workout, I'm like, man, my core is on fire. I love it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's just like every time it's just like I watch Strongman. I'm like see the stones. I'm like, oh, please no bicep tears today.
that's another thing I've learned is after I've done it for a few weeks, I'm like, oh wow, my left bicep, I think I have a mild tendonitis. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, perfect. Well, hope everybody out there has the crazy home gyms like we have now. Um, and then if if you get a cardio machine, just you know put your
just
gym
burn it.
clothes on it. Yeah, put your gym clothes on it.
Yeah, yeah. That's what usually happens. Though I will say, having a treadmill with a desk, like a
That
standing desk on a treadmill,
yeah,
that's a thing of beauty. Especially if you have a work at home
yeah.
and you don't have to be on a call. Yeah, I've used it at least once a week for an hour or two, and it's a very good way to get some steps in.
Yes, yeah. Free. It's free exercise.
Hmm.
All right. Well, anyways, we transition away from the fitness part of the strength hammer. What's your hobby been, Alex? You said you had some
Oh,
hobby.
I had some hobby, man. It's a good time. Usually this section takes 5 seconds. Today is going to take a minute.
Okay.
Some my second favorite game after Warhammer is Zombicide.
Mm-hmm.
And my friends and I are getting back into it, and I purchased some expansions for it. And I finally got the expansion from the command that took about 2.5 years to get to me. So I actually took about 20 models for Zombicide, and I primed them, and Zenithal highlighted, and
Nice.
started painting them yesterday. So I spent about 2.5 hours total painting, which was
That's
the
awesome.
longest it's been in a while.
Yeah.
And it's been very fun. I actually really enjoyed it. And the game is Saturday, so hopefully I have 2 more days to get some more, we'll say tabletop quality ready paint scheme on them.
Hey, listen, you know me. Tabletop's perfect.
Tabletop is all you need to get to.
Especially Zombicide. I don't know if there's any Zombicide painting awards, Alex, so you can just get them done. And
Yeah, put
focus
them
on
on the
your.
table.
Yeah, put.
One thing being friends with you helped me is because I used to be very precise about like making sure everything is painted and that everything there's no detail unpainted, even if it's in the shadow, the underside of a horse and everything. And being friends with you, I'm like, just get on the table, like
I'm
like
glad I could drag you down to my level.
no, but it's good because you have thousands of painted models and I have a couple hundred.
Yeah, but I also hope that you don't end up like where I am, where I'm like every day I'm putting up like pictures of 2 sets of armies. I'm just like, why do I have all these? It was fun, but yeah,
Yeah, you're a madman. Yeah,
yeah. You go win your painting awards. That's got your trophies will look better on your shelf than armies in a box. Uh,
that's fair.
yeah, do whatever you like. Hobbies, everybody's hobby is your own. Um, that's great. That's awesome. My hobby. Shoot, did I finish? Well, okay. So painting some Bretonians. I think I did talk about last time I finished the Men at Arms. I'm working. I finished the Duke. I don't know if I mentioned that last time. I finished the Duke up
I don't think
for my
so.
Bretonian army, which is fun. I kit bashed the from the Knights of the Realm on foot. I kit bashed the lady helmet
That's right. Yes,
because like the guy has a mustache. I was just like, oh man, this guy's chill. I love him.
that's hilarious.
And then I did finish building the rest of the Bretonians I had, which was just a couple Knights of the Realm on foot. Even though I don't need them in my army, I had them. And then I gave that and a few other made-to-order Bretonian things to a friend in exchange. He's a commission painter, Evil Bob Miniatures. Check him out on Facebook. He's painting up my 2 damsels I had,
Very good.
so that'll be fun. And then I painted up a Tomb King model that I forgot was a made-to-order I ordered with those Bretonians, and I'm working on some Peg Knights behind me, so nothing too much. These Peg Knights, they're not due until end of next month for the Tale of Four Warlords, so I'm just kind of getting ahead of the game because I'm tired of looking at stuff. Although I did order a lot of terrain for Old World.
Ooh, very good, very good. You are a wild man. You paint as much as I paint in like 6 months. You paint in a week.
It's weird, but to be fair, I still have a kind of a lack of motivation for it, other than just not seeing them here. The Bretonians, I have motivation for, but the smaller pile next to it of some dwarves, some daughters of
Sure.
Cain, not as high. I'm excited. Back to World's Strongest Warhammer. He sent me these recently. It's
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, just like he just showed up randomly, which is funny because now I have his address and I can send him stuff.
Very good.
But yeah, I was last week I was talking about maybe getting the pony carts or not pony carts, the mine carts. Get some, but I didn't need any more miners. I have enough in the army I want. But he sent me two just on sprue. So
Oh, sweet. Is it from Island of Blood? Oh
uh,
no, from
uh,
Battle for Skull Pass.
yeah, I think they're the Battle for Skull Pass ones actually.
Wow, those are some retro models. That's great.
Yeah, it was very generous, and those probably be the first thing I paint up after the Bretonian's done.
That's
So
cool. Those are fun. Those are very fun little models too.
yeah, they are.
Yeah,
But
very good.
other than that, also I want to shout out. Go check out Alex's content over on Instagram because he's doing a lot with Deadlift of the Dark Gods right now.
Yes.
I literally saw it as you messaged me, so I actually need to go back and make sure I like it. But the turning your back on the pile of shame one was actually made me laugh, even though like those jokes are so annoying to me. But like just seeing you guys do it, I'm like, this is funny now.
Yeah, yeah, it's been really fun. Expect a lot more collabs with Deadless for Dark Gods, Eli, in the
Yeah.
future, because we obviously have very much similar
Philosophies.
sphere of influence. Yeah, philosophies. He's much more bodybuilding. So
Sure.
like
He's actually done a
how
show.
I am. Right, he's
Award-winning
actually
bodybuilder.
yes, award-winning bodybuilder. It's like how much I am into bodybuilding compared to you is how much he is compared to me.
Oh, that's a good comparison.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's to that level, which is very cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, like your guys' collabs are pretty funny. I'm enjoying them. So go check out those. I'll put links to all that down below. But now we're gonna go over to Neil, and I think we're gonna be talking some Old World. So bye,
Hi, Neil.
everybody. Welcome back to Strength Hammer. I'm your host, as usual, Chuck. Today, told you I might be coming here with Neil. Unfortunately, things have had to change over here in the States. Back to school's happening, so between parent-teacher school shopping, school sports starting up. Neil's been very busy, and my schedule's been a little rough too because my wife's been sick this past week. So it just got me for the end of the show here, and I got a little fun idea I wanted to get through here with us. Just something to get the mind working. Something we might come back to. We might do this again because it's fun. So we'll see how it plays out and how you guys like it. So today, what we're gonna be doing is actually I'll just bring it up. It's easier to do it that way. I have one of those classic wheel spin things, and I put every old world army on it. So you click this example. We're not going to do this one first. But click this, and we would find out which army we're looking at, which would be Beastmen Brayherds. And then what I was going to do, I was going to go over to the old world map and just kind of look around and find a place where I would put my Beastmen army. And just kind of like, okay, why would they be there? Maybe, obviously, I'm going to do that a lot too, probably easiest if I just chose to pull them from this area where they're actually from. But like, what if they were from the sea or something, just something different. So that's what we're going to try to do today. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first army, sip of coffee as we do this. Chaos Dwarfs. Okay. Let's remove them now. Chaos Dwarfs. So obviously the easiest way would be have them up north doing that stuff. But what if we had them... Red Cloud seems too simple. What if we had them by the misty mountains of the Sour Sea? So obviously you can see, like, let's play some near the Misty Mountain, right on this border right here. This is where my Chaos Dwarf army is going to be from. Chaos Dwarf is probably the one I might know the least amount, but let's see. So obviously, what we got around here. So we got port access, the Straits of Nagash. So yeah, to the Sea of Dread. So they could theoretically have sailed up here and established a foothold down here by the Misty Mountain. Maybe they saw the Red Cloud Mountain in the distance. They like the red plumes of volcanic activity or whatever this may be spewing out here, and said, yep, this is where we need to be. And then lots of minerals, lots of mines, far out of the way so they can summon their demon batteries to do what they want with here. And then obviously, I mean, they need their labor force, their slave labor, so there's plenty of orcs and goblins to be had around here. And hey, you know what? Just for fun, Carrick Asgal up here. I mean, if there's dwarves in there, you might as well go and beat up some dwarves. But yeah, why would they settle here? I would say because, they had a nice access port. Maybe they got forced into here. There's some other naval battle going on between, the Dark Elves and the High Elves, and they were just kind of caught in the crossfire, and they escaped up the Straits of Nagash. Realized how quiet it was. Saw Nagashizar off to the right and said, nope, we need to go left. But they made as far as they could, settled by the Misty Mountain, and said, hey, you know what, we can hide underground, we can be dwarfs, we can make the most of this, we can, go over here, dig tunnels, make treks, go get our orc labor force, and then from there, why not? Let's go get some Tomb King loot. Why not? Get some gold. And then, eventually if they want to, they can start pushing up from the south. But I think they'd be nice and comfy right here, my little Chaos Dwarf army. Yep, everything they need. And I'm sure it's a sour sea, but dwarves can eat a lot of stuff, so I'm sure there's fish and stuff in there they can eat if they really want to. Alright, so hopefully that was a fun first one. Let's check out another one here. And yes, we're just looking at just the old world map. I know there's a bigger world, but we're trying to make it different. Ooh, that was so close. Wood Elf Realms. Okay, alright, we got Wood Elves time. Let's zoom out again. If I was to pick someplace that wasn't... Oh, the jungles. The jungles would be real interesting. Let's see. There's some over here, but that's a little. Let's try and get a place completely different. No, that's way too easy. That's way too easy. Ooh, what about... Okay. So this is a little far north, but I do want to place them in some woods, because that's what makes sense to me. So, I'm going to put them right here across these little peninsulae. Why would they be up there all the way from Athelloren, which is the home? Now, obviously, wood elves can travel the realm routes, so they could easily find their way up here. But more interesting, I'm going to say that they were more of the seafaring of the high elves before the great schism, I guess, the split that caused the War of the Beard, I guess is actually the correct term, for whenever the high elves would flee from the old world, and the ones that remained become the wood elves. I'm gonna say this was some of the seafaring ones from Ulthuan. I mean, they're all seafaring, but like these were like the Sea Guard and all that sort of stuff. Maybe they had a few sky cutters, and as they're sailing away, what have you, a storm blew in. So they had to find the closest land, and unfortunately, they're right around here. The closest land was up here, and I would say maybe these were even barren when they got there, and they just planted the trees themselves, created their own forest just to find that safety, or at least found one and cultivated it to grow more. So I would make these like a seafaring style wood elf army. So they're not just wearing greens and browns as you would. They would be like a misty sea gray with that little bit of green, like the ocean's turned up, lots of storms, heavier furs, obviously maybe less of the tree folk up here, just simply because it's colder. They're not going to be as active. Maybe there's one or two for sure, and obviously they keep their connections, but maybe they're more isolated, haven't fully integrated back into obviously high elf culture, and they're not fully into what the wood elves are, despite being wood elves. And then they'll have maybe they still have their sky cutters, but they're no longer being pulled by the great rocks. They'll use them to go between these on the ocean itself, and a mix of the wood elf culture with a little bit of a seafaring, maybe even like Viking style culture, just to make it a little different. So yeah, and they'd be over here by the Bjornlings. That's neat. And maybe they even look to branch up here and are somehow a little protectorate of these straits right here for any chaos invasions. Who knows? Yeah, I'd put them right here. That'd be right where my wood elves would go if I'd pick something random for them. All right, let's do another one here. More coffee time. Ooh, okay, elf to elf, back to back. I like this. And I'm a fan of dark elves. They're not getting enough love. Shout out to Val Heffelfinger over on the Square Base podcast, who's ruined the reputation of the dark elves. So much so that I plan to bring out dark elves sooner rather than later, just to help wave that banner, because they're cool. They're really cool. You can't get away from them. Anyway, dark elves. So we know dark elves are seafaring and aren't in the old world. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Where would they go? I mean, this is a pretty interesting place here. The Frozen Sea. Just because, Kraken there, that they could be anywhere, and that seems pretty easy. I don't know if they'd stay in the north. I like it, though. I like it. Tilia Sea. No, they would be down Black Gulf. Nah, it wouldn't be near the Pirate Coast. They'd avoid that. I could see them. All this is going on up here. All this war of the three emperors and this back and forth and that going on. And then maybe Dark Elves are like, okay, we're not going to deal with that. They're going to come over to this side too, over by the Sea of Dread, because the Serpent's Coast. They're going to like that name. They're going to like that name. But they're not going to go quite to the Gulf of Fear, because that is clearly Tomb King's land. But this, the Jungle of the Gods? Are you telling me they would not want to go there and capture whatever they could. For sure they would. Now, where would they land? Now, obviously, they would come up around. I would say they'd take this because they could easily block off all this and have a nice seaport, a couple inlets here. Yeah, we're gonna put my Dark Elf army right here. This will be the whole area, mostly their capital. They'll wall off. This is very defensible. I like that. I'd build a keep here. I'd build a city here. And maybe it wouldn't be a fully permanent structure. Granted, for an elf, they might be there for a couple hundred years. That so might seem permanent to other races such as humans, but they would build a nice little defensive coast here, raid up and down, maybe even raid up into the Sea of Fear and all that. And then from here, they would explore the jungle, probably because of Sorceress Sorceress was probably leading them looking for artifacts under orders of Marathi or Malekith, and she has some dreadlords under her sway, and obviously we'll have some Black Orc Corsairs. We'll have some of the basic infantry line troop like the warriors and such. Maybe even a few executioners, but I would see them actually being kitted out with more like a heavy axe instead of the Drach, just to be able to chop through the heavy trees that they would. And they wouldn't care. They would just chop and burn. And probably some cold ones just because, and hopefully a dragon. And yeah, set up camp here, and that's what they'd be doing. They'd be hunting for resources and sending out raiding parties here and there, maybe even going up into the Tomb King's land, doing some raiding. Why not? Yeah, I think that would be pretty fun to do for Dark Elves. Way down here, way out of the way, but still in the old world. All right, let's keep going. This is actually kind of fun. I'm enjoying this. I wish I had more time to do it than I do today, but ooh, vampire counts. This might be a hard one because they're mostly in Sylvania. So if I was a rogue, I would very clearly from the start, I'm a rogue vampire. I was turned and I ran. I did not like it. Probably not wanting to be underneath the sway of Nagash, but knowing that there's lots of resources near there, where would I set up? You know what? It might be a bit cliche here on this, but I would probably come down to the pirate coast. I would set up some sort of vampire. I would be a vampire. Sorry, some sort of vampire pirate kingdom within this area. Raise the dead from, find out where there's the reefs where the boats are. It's treacherous and storms wash them in. Maybe learn some magic to create storms and cause more carnage. And just like that crazy, I forget what his name is, the crazy vampire. But I'd be that down here. But I would try to make alliances with things like, the Oasis of 1,001 camels, Al-Hek. Pretty simple, but desert theme. Because then also you could have some relations. Maybe you could even be the intermediary between Araby and the Tomb Kings, just to get more lucrative deals out of it. Maybe they don't need to know where things are coming from. Hey, some of those skeletons under your control have a few extra ancient relics of gold that they didn't have before. It happens, whoever's the strongest. But yeah, and I'm sure the Carnal Deeps, I'm sure there's a lot of dead things there. You maybe can go in cover of night storm, steal some more zombies and skeletons and get back out to your pirate kingdom. And I would probably put it I'd tuck it in right here. Let's tuck it in right here. Yeah, it looks good to me. Yep, this whole area right there. Be a vampire. Sorry if that one wasn't as exciting. That was truly one of the harder ones so far. Yeah, let's keep spinning. Oh, I think we got Skaven. Now, Skaven. Yep, Skaven. Skaven live underground, and typically seem to harass the humans. I mean, dwarves too, but seem to harass the humans. But what if we had them gnawing at the roots of Maybe even the Forest of Shalons. Yeah, maybe more around here. Like, they live in massive Orc Isle. There's just found their way, dug through the tunnels, found their way here, and popped up and said, "Huh, okay, let's do it." And then just from here, they raid the Forest of Shalons. They kind of raid into Athaloran. Not that they're successful, but they do it. They're weary of the Broken Axe orcs. I imagine they would try to avoid them at all costs. So maybe they're always playing a cat and mouse game from them. And then, obviously, Castel Baston would be a prize target, and that's their goal. That's their whole goal, is eventually to take the Castel Baston. And they think and then after that, they know they can capture Athaloran, they'll have the power. There's no chance they'll ever capture Athaloran. But they believe they can. So yeah, I'd put them right here, and their whole goal is go after Castel Baston. A little bit of forests, so they'd have leaves as cloaks and such like that. For they're gutter runners. And then they would just flood out of the mountain whenever they chose to. They're still building up power. It's going to be a ways away. The great horned rat, Grey Seers, they'll tell us when it's good to go. Yeah, why not? Let's put them right there. Next up. Ogre Kingdoms. Ooh, man. Ogres are an army I've always loved the artwork for. They've always invoked Warhammer to me more than much else. And I've just never started the army. The closest I have is I was given the Beastclaw Raiders book long ago. Where would they be? I mean, they're mercenary forces, so that's pretty easy, thankfully. They would not be for the Tomb Kings because there's just bones they want to eat. They want an easy meal. And they don't mind eating the dead. You know what? They're allying with Mootland. I am going to have my Ogre Kingdoms set up shop on this plains right here, this unremarkable plains between the Mootlands and Sylvania. And maybe the occasion they'll go help Zufbar for that, but really they're here for the halflings, the hobbitses. And their whole task is they get fed good food from the Mootland and coin to stop and eat, or stop and kill whatever Sylvania sends through. So all the undead that's coming through, and then the ogres will eat that too. That's perfectly fine with them. They don't mind. And then they'll join in the parties. Every year there'll be we'll call it the Great Ogre Moot, where one of these maybe a whole district of Sigmaringen is entirely dedicated to making enough ale to last this one night, where they go have a party with the halflings and the ogres, and they just drink and party all night, and that's a yearly feast. Maybe it's the autumn feast. You know what I mean? Why not? That's what you gotta do. All right, let's back out here. Let's get another one going. Boom, we're getting all the elves done today. Look at that. I think? Yes, okay, High Elf Realms. It's the seafaring race. But I'd want them to establish a foothold. Where would they establish a foothold would be the most important question. Obviously, they have their tours. We can always do it there. That's too easy. No, that's too easy. I would say... No, not the Cursed Marshes. That's a little too hard. I would say we're up here with the Wood Elves. We don't know that those Wood Elves are over there that I created. And, yeah, I would say right here. Maybe right here. I'll start building another tour. Tour Scalings, whatever. Because that way they can have the trading, the Laurel Forest. They can keep contact with other elves. They can protect this side while the elves protect this side. Obviously, the humans nearby, the Bretonnians and Empire. So trading relations, and they can be the intermediaries between the dwarves. Obviously, have access to the Romanovs over here in Kislev. Yeah, so I mean, they'd be seafaring, but we just put them right up here. It's nice. I'm very focused on the sea, so lots of sea guard, lots of sky cutters, all that fun stuff. I'd see sky cutters going back daily. Boom, 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 boom. That maybe even they'd establish a small little outpost here on this little island, just so that they're not taking over any mainland territories. Yeah, that's where my hives would go, I think, on this one, just for something different. If I had to be, like, where would they settle? Heck, my army might even be there from there now. I might make this up. Let's go for it. We'll figure it out. Even though they're from Illyria, but where they settled from Uthwan. All right, I think we got time for one more here on my side. Let's see what we get to do. Empire of Man. Okay. All right, Empire of Man. Now, they're everywhere. So I would want to be a small little mercenary, not mercenary, just a hunting force sent out by the kings, the emperors. Let's be from where do I want to be from? Yeah, let's be from Talabek. Why, sure, why not? But we've sailed these rivers, going this way, and we are living. We got to here. Okay, go up here, get on this road, and go through Peaks Pass. We're gonna see what we can find out here. And we establish a little outpost right here. Yep, just some humans. And eventually they would become a weird mix because we'd attract other mercenary forces to the cause, pay them the coin. Obviously, we'd have relationships with these dwarves because these dwarves would be very important. Karen, yeah, that's actually important one. We would help deal with the orc problems, the goblin problems, and the goal would be to establish a new city, kind of like a Dawnbringer Crusade back in this time, but not knowing that there's not much we can do out here. So maybe eventually send out to the Plain of Zar, and then they found some sort of resource that they can gather instead of setting up a city, and they're just going to take it and go back and amass some wealth and then return to ensure the Grand Duchy of Talabek is the true Bretonnian leaders that they are meant to be. So yeah, sure. And actually, for some reason, I thought this was the Empire, but yeah, so they're humans. Let's see, the humans can be from Middenland. They've allied, so there's some Bretonnian forces with them to go out here to gather some resources. Yeah, you know what, let's do one more. That was a weak one, I won't lie. I'll get you one more, then we'll wrap it up. We'll call it a day. Kingdoms of Bretonnia. Okay, so we're going to be questing knights. That is for certain. But where are we questing? Where would we be questing? I think... Ooh, hey, questing knight. There you go. I think we are going to be questing with the dwarves. Yeah, let's go with the dwarves. Carrick as Carrack. So questing party has made their way up through the lands of Bretonnia to here, but not just they're questing and they're in the dwarf lands. No, I want them to be truly like situated, like they didn't realize how deep the mountain holds go, and they are truly learning how to create lance formations to go through the tunnels, which would be pretty wide, in order to help their dwarf friends fight. Maybe even learning how to build better trebuchets. Still refusing to use the cannons, even though that they're pretty effective, as they can see. But a bunch of questing knights, essentially. Some hanger-ons, maybe a few peasants here and there, and I said trebuchet, but questing knights who want to go help the dwarves, not really understanding what that means. And now they have horses that have been bred there for a couple horse generations that are used to being underground, only see the underground, and are making lance charges and fighting goblins and skaven in the underground on behalf of the dwarves, and have such their colors have dulled because they can't see them as much. They don't care as much. Maybe it's more covered in that black soot from all the mining. Yeah, that's where my Bretonians would be from if I was to make them from someplace different than usual. And hey, might even have a little vampirism pop into there if I feel like it on occasion. But boom, there we go. I think we did it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little fun exercise, understanding that it's fun to place your army within the real world of Warhammer. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's fun to give them a set, concrete place, especially in this game setting. And you don't have to be locked into the basics. Sure, the basics are there. You could do the basics. I kind of did it on a few of them here. But just feel free to explore and have a good time. And it's your army. Put it wherever you want. No one's going to complain. Just and you use that to craft like what units would be here based upon where I put them. Not necessarily the best units, just what units would be here. Done. What would the color scheme look like? What if they were next to another race or province or something? Like what culture aspects would they take on? What fun things like that? The Mootland, the ogre moot thing. What what fun things could you create that could feel real within the world and make your army come more alive? But that was the exercise. I hope you've all enjoyed it. Hope you all can take away from this and do the same thing. Just take your army or a couple armies, figure out where you'd want them to be from, and just run through this exercise and talk it out with a friend. Talk it out with someone else. Talk it out in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share this. And just enjoy the narrative of your army as we go. But like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Maybe we'll come back and do this again sometime, because there's still plenty of armies left here. Let's remove that. Let's see what we got left. Orcs and goblins, dwarven mountain holds, daemons, lizardmen, tomb kings, beastmen, and warriors. So we could come back and do this again here soon too. But until then, I'm going to see you all later. So stay Stormcast strong, and happy hobbing, everybody.